feel harder in your business than they should. Like every month or quarter just feels a little bit unpredictable, not because of revenue, but just because it's kind of chaotic. Like everything might feel urgent and you can't quite get your feet under you. Then there might be a clarity issue that I want to encourage you to look at before you do anything else in the business. And let me set the stage here. For this week's Quickcast, I'm not speaking to the owner who is drowning in decisions, who feels like the bottleneck or is overwhelmed. If that's you, the good news is that almost all of my other videos and content speak directly to you, and the short answer is you most likely need to delegate. And if you don't know quite where to start delegating or how to bring on an assistant, I can help you with that. But you're not who I'm speaking to today. Today I'm speaking to the owner who can't quite figure out why sustainable growth and getting out of the feast and famine cycle feels harder than it should. Like things are working kind of with the clients that you have, you know you're capable, you're not really falling behind cash or revenue wise, but something just feels off, a little heavier, a little bit more complicated than it should. For you, I don't have a sales pitch because I don't think that you should bring on an assistant quite yet. Most likely don't have a capacity or time management issue. My confident guess here is that you've got a clarity issue. And I'm confident because I've been there. I know what it's like. So it took me way longer in business than it should to be like, oh, I think I know what I'm doing. I think I found my secret sauce, the little magic and sparkle to my business. It took me longer than it should to really figure out who my ideal client was. Now, if you're tired of hearing ideal client, don't leave just yet. Stick with me because I also was exhausted, jaded, annoyed, eye rolling at the concept of an ideal client profile because I heard it so much. I spent too much money probably, but I spent money on group coaching, sales coaching, how to build an agency coaching, all these programs. And in every single one, I heard the coaches and in all this LinkedIn content I was seeing, like you figure out your ideal client profile, like things will make sense after that. And I heard it so much, I was like, this has got to be some fluffy BS. Like, what on earth? I was convinced people were just talking about it because it was trending and they saw other people talking about it. But in reality, when you don't have a clear picture of really who you're serving, it has this horrible domino effect into everything else. So yeah, it does affect marketing and sales and the frontline kind of growth engine there, but it also trickles down into your operations, into your day-to-day work, into how you might hire and delegate, because you're tweaking everything for all different types of clients. And also I was like, well, that's fine. I like customizing things for people. I like to problem solve, like standardizing. I don't want to over standardize in my business, which I still don't over standardize, but we do have certain structures in place because we know that they are going to serve our ideal client in the best way. When you are stuck tweaking everything for all different types of clients, then your priorities shift, your content and messaging shift, so it's even harder to create content and it's harder for that content to resonate and land with the right people. Your day-to-day workload and kind of what you get to focus on and how you focus in versus on the business is always changing. It's hard to delegate because you don't have priorities in place. Certain systems are never going to stabilize. So, okay, what do you automate? How do you take advantage of AI in certain places? You don't know. You can't because everything is always shifting and changing. So you could be doing great work. You could be really excelling in your area of expertise, but you're doing that in so many different ways that nothing ever ends up feeling simpler. Nothing ends up really clicking in the business. So even if you are growing, this was happening to me where I was, doubling revenue year over year. Like the numbers were saying I was doing good in business. The numbers were saying I was growing, but it never felt sustainable. It still always felt very unpredictable. And like everyone else had figured things out except me. Like I was just like in a corner in my own little chaos. Like, what is happening? Like that is what it felt like. I even sat down and I was like, okay, maybe ideal client profile has some legitimacy. Let me try to figure this out. And I did a little bit, but I was so afraid of over niching. I was afraid of taking away from a little bit of the versatility that I like to have in my day to day. I was afraid of getting the niche wrong. And okay, if I dive into this messaging, will it not land with the right people? Will I lose all my leads? So I built an ICP that was still somewhat unclear, and also was totally built off of certain questions that I was hearing at the time around focusing on what's going to be the most profitable, focusing on the types of clients that are easily going to be paying you, all those things. And so that ICP was still focused around the wrong things in business, around the revenue potential. And I had to kind of flip the narrative a little bit. So if you're tired of hearing ideal client profile, here's the shift I want you to make, because I asked you to stick with me. So I want you to change it to favorite people to work with. FPTWW. Who are your favorite people to work with? Okay. These are the people that you actually enjoy supporting and serving. The people that, okay, there might be a few objections that come up in a sales conversation naturally, because everyone's always hesitant to open their wallet. That's fine. But overall, the sales conversations don't feel like, oh crap, you've got to convince and claw your way through the sales conversation. It's pretty natural to speak with them, and they want the services that you offer. They are not your PETA, pain in the ass clients. So who are your favorite people to work with? When you figure that out, a lot of things become way easier, way simpler, and even more profitable. It's easier to figure out what your offers are that you want to be giving, which means it's also easier to create content around those offers that actually brings in leads. It's also content that then you enjoy talking about and putting together, which just makes marketing a whole lot easier and sales conversations a whole lot easier. It also means that you can then figure out, okay, where does automation make sense? Where do I need to stabilize some systems? Where can I leave room for some customization? And then delegating and hiring makes a whole lot more sense, because you have clarity on, here's how I'm going to serve my favorite people to work with. Here's how the systems and structures I have in place will support them. And here are the people I'll bring on to do these other things that might distract me from best serving or best closing deals with my favorite people to work with. So we go from horrible domino effects to now wonderful waterfalls of enjoyment, simplicity, and profit in the business. I'm trying to find all the metaphors here to just get the point across that this is your secret sauce, clarity, magic, make things click, make scaling way easier. Even if we love to work hard and grind, we don't have to have this unpredictable hustle to our business, because we understand our favorite people to work with and are building the business, the vision, the goals, the priorities, all of those things around that. Once you figure that out, if you still feel like, okay, there's some friction, I can't focus on these certain things with my clients because I'm busy in all these other areas of the business, or now we are getting into the bottleneck, capacity, overwhelmed stage of business, okay, then that's when we need to delegate and bring on an assistant. And that's something that I can help you with. But I don't recommend bringing someone on if you haven't figured out this foundational, critical piece to your business. All right, I hope that helps. I hope that brought a different perspective to ideal client profile if you've been struggling to really figure that out. And hopefully sales and marketing starts to click after you understand your favorite people to work with.